What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we always start this show by being transparent. And yesterday we had a winning day, or at least I had a winning day. I bet the under in the Aces game, and 1-0 day for myself. So happy with that. Vino, good to be back with you. Hopefully you got to the window. Hopefully you stood up straight. And how did you do for the rest of the day?
Well, I kind of kicked myself for not playing Connecticut, but we found out a little late about
4 minutes
Page.
before.
Yeah, I mean it's just crazy. I was ready to pull the trigger early in the day, Ski, and then I got the alert that said Page was at shoot around, so I stopped my write up midstream and didn't go ahead and release that Connecticut game. But they did win that one. But we both, I think we like you say, we talk them out here. And after what we talked about yesterday, I did stand up straight, did release the under in Las Vegas. Atlanta came through for us, typical playoff style game. So we got paid yesterday. We'll look to get paid again today.
Let's do it. We have, I know we have three in the WNBA. We'll see if we want to talk a little bit of college football today. I do have stronger opinions about the weekend games. Maybe we can touch on tomorrow. But shout out to the chat room, ZB Miami, reminding everybody to hit the like button on the way in. Appreciate that. KC in the building. B Man, good to see some of the usual suspects. And let's get to it. We'll go in rotation order, or we'll start with 601, 602. Mystics, Liberty opened up minus 12.5. Looks like 12 pretty much everywhere. Total open 163. It looks like 162.5. And as far as an injury report, I see JC Sheldon out for Washington. For the Liberty, Natasha Cloud is out. Sabali's out. Sabrina is still listed here. She is truly questionable. Um, Man, Vino, for me, I mean, the Liberty haven't been playing that good. And especially if you don't know if Sabrina's going to play. I mean, even if I knew she was in, the Liberty haven't been playing good enough for me to lay this anymore. I got caught with them the other day, and I just really want no parts. I think they have to show us some consistency before we start to expect them to win by, you know, clear double digits. So I would say Mystics in this situation. Both teams are well rested. Mystics are a little bit more rested with 3 days, and they haven't played since earlier in the season. But I think 12 is a little bit too much. What do you think here, Vino?
Well, I really wanted to get to the Liberty team total here, Ski. My thought process was maybe you were just one game ahead of yourself the other day when they played Connecticut, because I feel like, they scored 81 in that game. Everybody was back. The asking price here was going to be about 88.5 against Washington. Thought to myself, second game with everybody back in. I think Harrison's even back in tonight off of the concussion protocol. So you get Izzy back. I thought getting to 89 would be a play of mine. And then again, just like I talked about earlier, you get the alert late this morning that Sabrina is now, this toe injury may keep her out of the game. So I stopped in my tracks here. It's possible they could still get to that price, but I don't know that I want to play it that way anymore. I'm with you. I don't want to lay the number because the defense still, they only beat Connecticut by 2 the other night, as you mentioned. The defense still, even with Breanna Stewart, didn't look that great. So there's potential for Washington here. My hesitation with Washington overall is that they are truly out of it now. I know we joked a little bit a couple of weeks ago, are the Mystics tanking? Then they come up with a couple of big wins. Then they go right back and blow back-to-back games against Connecticut. Then I think they played a fairly solid game last time out. But now they're finished at 16-22. There's really not enough time for them. I know they're not mathematically eliminated, but for all intent and purposes, they're eliminated here from a playoff spot. So I don't know what we're going to get out of Washington at this point in time. Could be a lot of experimentation. Who knows what the head coach's thoughts are as far as minutes are concerned, knowing that they're out of it. So I don't really like either side. Again, if I knew Ionescu was in the game, I would play over 88.5, thinking that they're going to get to 90. It's a team predicated mostly on offense. They've got so many good offensive players. But we may not know till 4 minutes before game time again. So who knows? Might have to wait it out.
Yeah, it's tough dealing with the injury report, but I mean they are playing more games this season, so I'll try not to get on them too much. But it's making it tough on the betters. I'll say that for sure. We'll move it over to the next game. Nobody really has a strong opinion in the chat for this game either. Next game we have Seattle and Minnesota. It opened up Minnesota minus 7.5. It's all the way up to 9 or 9.5. Total opened up 163.5. And I see it as high as 165. We'll take a look at the injuries for Seattle. I don't see anybody for Minnesota. Only Griffin out. Um, Feedback in the lineup, man, she looked good. It's really hard to put your money against the Lynx. I haven't had success doing it a lot this season. I'll tell you that. So I try to stay away from, even thinking about betting the other side. But every game, the Lynx are the better team. They're at home. They're healthy. I mean, why shouldn't we take the Lynx here, Rob Veno?
I don't know if I can. Well, what's been okay to try and do is to go against them first half. They
True.
haven't been a great first half team, and
They've been a
Seattle is
great
on
third
this.
quarter team too, by the way.
Yeah, they make the second half adjustments, boy, because there's been games where they were down by sizable amounts at halftime, and they come back and win big. It just doesn't matter. And I know we questioned last time, what do they have left to play for? At 30-7, running away with this thing, they're going to be the number one seed. Why risk anything at this point in time? But I've said before, they're so professional, that team. Like, they just come out and you know what you're going to get from them each and every time. Lineup is full again. And I remember saying to you the other day that I saw Courtney Williams come out and say, we were a problem, but with feedback, we're a real problem now. And it's the truth. I just don't know. To me, Seattle's the more motivated team here. Again, it's been a long road trip. We talked about it the other day, and they got beat by 20 by Indiana. But they're in a spot where they've got to have a win here. They're clinging to that 8 spot ahead of the Sparks. I think they'll put up a fight, Skee. They've done it before against Minnesota. I mean, I think there was an instance where they got absolutely pounded, but I do think there were a couple instances where they played this team pretty tough. So I'd be hesitant to lay 9 points with Minnesota, but that doesn't mean I'd rush to the window with Seattle either. I looked at the total at 164, and especially I looked at the Seattle team total, thinking that maybe Minnesota's defense could keep them under that number, but 77.5 is a low number. So no play here for me on either side. I could see it going either way. For those who got to the window quickly and played Minnesota, I think you're in better shape. 7.5 is a lot better than laying 9 here in my estimation. And I'm looking now as we talk, Skee, I see a 9.5 out there.
Yeah, some good points made by you. Also in the chat, they're liking it. Jeff B says took Seattle first half. Hope they bounce back strong early. That's not a bad look after getting beat by 20. And what you said about Minnesota starting slow a little bit there. Brian's also thinking about it. The problem I have with Seattle is B-Man kind of mentions it here. Seattle 8th road game in 10 days. Yeah. This is their 5th straight road game. And then 2 people in the chat mentioned it. B-Man's one says Fee needs to pull away for MVP and 2 games for Lynx to clinch the number 1 seed. Casey says the way the Aces are playing, she feels like they're playing for Fee MVP. I agree. Mark says Seattle first half as well, Minnesota third quarter. So everybody's agreeing pretty much with the game script for this one. I mean, Seattle first half does sound appealing, but like I said, then I think about who they're playing on the other side, and I just don't want to put my money down anymore. That's how it makes me feel. So I'm not mad at anybody, but this is a tough game for me. What about the total? I mean, it did go up from 163.5 to 165. I'm going to glance at what the Storm have been doing. I know they've been playing faster. They're still the number 1 pace team in the league last 5 games. They are the number 4 defensive rated team in the same span. I mean, if they want to play up tempo with the Lynx will score on any defense. Um, I could understand the movement with the over. Any thoughts there before we move over, Ravino?
They've got a couple of situations here with Seattle, Skee. I know we talked a little bit about Malonga coming off the bench. She's been terrific, but she had an off game her last game. And one more problematic thing for Seattle is ever since they moved Erica Wheeler back to the bench, she just hasn't been the same offensive player. 2 for 10 the other night. I don't know if she's been thrown out of rhythm by not getting the start and the minutes that come with it. She's getting 20 plus still, but since they acquired Brittany Sykes, it hasn't been the same for her. So you would think you'd get a couple of bounce back performances off the bench here for Seattle, which makes 77.5 look a shade low for their team total, considering the fact that Minnesota's allowed more than that in 4 of their last 5. But again, it's just not enough to convince me to, as we say on the show, stand up straight with a play on that one.
All right, fair enough. I'll move it on over to the next game, and that is going to look like Chicago Sky, Phoenix Mercury opened up minus 12.5 for Phoenix. Looks like minus 12.5 still right now. Total open 163, and that looks like 164.5 as far as an injury report is concerned. Nobody on there for either team here, Ravino. Um, the Sky did play that last game, or let's see. I think they're both. My bad here. The Sky they did cover versus Aces, and they have the rest advantage in this game. They last played on the 25th, so 2 days rest for them compared to one for the Mercury. I'll say like this, Ravino. The Sky have been a pretty straightforward team this year. When Angel Reese and Ariel Atkins are playing, they look a lot better. When they're not playing, they look absolutely terrible. When one of them's playing, they look okay, I guess. They have both of them in the lineup today. Like I mentioned, the injury report is clean. Um, Phoenix is the better team, clear as day. But Phoenix has been so inconsistent. They've been so iffy. They also need how do I say? They also need a win for the standings though. So this game is important to win. Do you think it is enough to win by 12.5?
It's always the question, right, Skee? We're betting against numbers here. It's easy for us to say Phoenix should win the game. Will they win by 12.5? And I think to your point about the Sky, they're a way better offensive team when Angel Reese is on the floor. And it hasn't been because of her shooting or scoring, but it's been because their guards just don't make plays the way she makes plays. As the point forward, since they made that switch, when she's healthy and playing that position, they score better. I looked at over in this game because the Chicago defense has just been horrendous all season long, no matter who's involved on the floor. And Phoenix has that ability to score. But one thing I'm noticing about Phoenix as the season grinds down here to the end is that, you know what? And it's an easy philosophy. It's kind of easy to say about any team, but I think with Phoenix, it holds really true. When they make threes, they score big. When they don't make threes, they don't score so big. I think that goes back to your point about inconsistency with this team. And I just notice it in recording these box scores each and every night with them. When their 3-point shooters are on, I think the other night, oh, goodness gracious. They had a 5 for 7 out of Sammy Wickham. And when she's going well, it's even better. But they just don't always shoot it that way. Chicago gives it up from 3, so you would think that Phoenix would be in a good spot here to make those shots. I think over is the way I would look in this game. I wouldn't trust Phoenix to cover the number. They played 4 of their last 5 on the road. It wasn't a true full 5-game road trip, but still it's been a little sporadic travel-wise for them. So I think Chicago can score. I think Phoenix can score. I'd probably look over here.
Yeah, I can't really talk you off of that. ZB Miami mentioned Cardoso's size would be a problem in the paint. Yeah, Sky should be able to rebound. We'll see if they're able to get some of those second chance points. But I could see both teams putting up some points here in this one to get you over to 164 and a half. Vino, I think we have a few minutes still left here. Let's see if we can mark like Sky first half. Let's see if we can look at a little bit of football. I know these aren't the top games today, but they're football, and we've been starved for football for a while. So let's see if we can look at a little something here before we get out of here. One game I know you had your eye on is East Carolina and NC State. It did open up minus 12 and a half and looks like pretty much minus 14 right now. And there's a huge move on the total. Opened up 56 and a half. I'm seeing 62 I'm seeing 62 at like 5 shops. So I'll say 62 is the prevailing number right now. I mean, I know you're an over guy, Rob, about a 6 point, 5.5, 6 point move on the total. Is that how you're looking to play this one?
Yeah, 3 weeks ago, Skee, on $5 Tuesday, this was my first college play that I released to clients, and the number was 58 and a half at the time. And I took the play down after 2 days. I bet it at 58 and a half because I anticipated this kind of move. I took the play down because I didn't want people betting that percentage on this play when it moved. Here, I could recommend it as a free play. I did so in a Wager Talk video. But I'll tell you why. These teams played in the bowl game last year, very last game. First of all, they're pretty much, I wouldn't say that NC State considers ECU a rival, but ECU, like the little brother, loves to play against these in-state Power 5 teams, North Carolina State, et cetera. They come to play. They won that Military Bowl 26-21 about 8 months ago, scored with a minute and a half left. In that game, Skee, there were so many yards. It was crazy. The score is not indicative of how much offense there was in that game. First 2 drives of the game, NC State gained 122 yards on 2 drives and came away with nothing, 0 points, which is, you don't expect that to happen again. Their next 4 possessions, they scored 21 points. It was pretty easy. ECU, for what it's worth, they had 5 drives of over 74 yards in that game. East Carolina is a team that's going to go super fast. They made the coaching change last year midstream and became one of the fastest offenses in the nation, and also started winning games. They're going to do the same thing here tonight. And I think both of these teams, again, a lot of the personnel offensively returns for both. So I think you'll get the same type of offensive performance out of each here. You may get a different winner in the game, but I think that what they'll do here is turn those yards into points. So when I saw they scored 47 in the bowl game and had a bunch of mishaps that prevented them from scoring like 65 in that game, and then this total was 58 and a half, I played it. Like I say, at 62, you have to downgrade the play because you're crossing a bunch of key numbers. 59 is key. 61 is key. Now, 38-24 is 62. You could land right on it. But I still think there's enough possibility to just put a little bit on here, use it as a free play. ECU, NC State over the 62. If you can find, I don't know, you're probably looking right now. I thought at one point yesterday it might have gone down to 61 and a half, and you can see one right now as I look at the odds screen. I can see one. If you shop hard enough, maybe you can find it and give yourself 62 as a winner.
All right, good stuff, Rob. I'll take the blame for not going any further in football today because I have something I have to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down after that game right there. But some good stuff from you. If you guys want to hear more about college football, maybe let us know in the comments, or we'll get into more anyway tomorrow. But hit the like button for us. That does go a long way. We'll appreciate it. All right, Vino, it's about that time. I don't have any graphics to put up, but I will ask you if there's anything you would like to promote. And also, if you have a best bet for the show, we'd love to hear it. If you don't have one, it's okay.
Yeah, guys, season packages in football are up and available right now at wagertalk.com. You can find my college football, NFL, wt.buzz/RV, or just visit wagertalk.com. Again, NFL and college football plays up and available right now. Let's zip right over to the WNBA Skee here for best bet. And I'm gonna play, so I will say I haven't played yet, but I will play the Phoenix game over the total 164.5. I mean, we talked about it. There's plenty of reasons why you would like that play. Um, and I'll also mention something that we didn't mention. I mean, as MVP talk about Collier and Asia Wilson, obviously, but boy, oh boy, what Alyssa Thomas has done the last 2 weeks
Yes.
is amazing. Triple doubles like they're absolutely nothing for her. She's been the backbone of the team. I think they score here. Chicago's defense hasn't been great, and I do think with the Sky having a full lineup, Phoenix can get a little lackadaisical on defense themselves. So give me over 164.5 as best bet for the show.
All right, good stuff from Mr. Rob Veno. And I'm gonna be honest, I've only made one bet today, and I can't give it out because it's my 5% play. So I'm gonna just rock with what Rob Veno said. I think that was a good play right there. Um, Appreciate you, Vino, coming and capping these games with us. Everybody in the chat, we appreciate you all as well. We'll be back tomorrow, and there's a lot to talk about tomorrow. So if you want to hear about a little bit of WNBA, maybe a little bit of football, come join us, and we'll see all of you guys then.